The next question sort of ties in like all of your experiences, and it's do Christian organizations do enough to educate people who volunteer and work for them so that they can be better equipped to work for those in need?
I'm not sure. I'm very happy to just say something really short and pass it on to you guys, because you're on the ground. You have a much better idea. My guess is that it's a really mixed bag, and maybe that's one good thing to look out for if, as we're kind of deciding where to, if we want to volunteer or want to give somewhere. I think looking and like really checking organizations out and making sure that they are doing this kind of this training and really taking it seriously. But I'm sure Judith and Steffi, you've got much more to say on that.
Okay, I would say yes and no. Of course, it depends on what kind of training, because as Josh mentioned and Steffi also mentioned, some of our trainings is relief, is charity, is go, but it's not preparing for a whole life of preparing people to engage in mission work holistically. And in TCT, we say in all areas of life, that God is in charge of all areas of life. It's not one sect. So we realize there are some who are trained in just one sect: go, evangelize, baptize. And then the people are saying, we are hungry today. We don't see the gospel at all. And so you find that becomes a mismatch. The training was haphazard. And so you'll find even the mimicking on ground is haphazard. And of course, it's because the training, and also we have had, of course, other organizations that train well. So I think the point is to find the training that is holistic, that is all embracing, that can equip mission or people in missions to be able to really present the gospel in its totality. And that is what I would call the kind of training that I would recommend is the right training for people in mission or people going in mission. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Josh and Judith have said. I think in the Chris, I mean, this is a fault of, I don't think any NGO does a good enough job in training either, people that work for, or even but mainly to the public that they engage with. But I think it's a fault of us as a church in particular that we kind of think, oh, if we're doing this from, a heart of love, it's from a good place, then how can we be going wrong? And actually, I would say we can be doing a lot of harm. And so I think what you guys are doing tonight is absolutely amazing. I think that these are exactly the kind of conversations that we need to be having as the church, like these really honest conversations that admit actually, just because we're doing something because we care and from a place of love, that doesn't make it okay if we're doing harm and if we're not bringing justice. And I think that's why the mission of Just Love is so amazing. It's not just, equipping Christian students to sort of show love and care about the world, but it's actually equipping us to do justice. And so actually looking at what is justice, and it is about these difficult questions about these big structural issues like racism, like global tax injustice, like, medical patenting. We've seen that with coronavirus. Like there are so many big issues that are holding people in poverty. And I think we need to have the courage to admit that, it's not as easy as just doing something because it makes us feel good or because it's a nice thing to do. And actually we do need to be doing exactly what you're doing tonight and asking the hard questions.